Hello and welcome to the third Chinese public teaching in English. I'm your host, Flint Mulhausen, today. And welcome to the meeting. Hello, Ruthie.
Yes, thank you. So right now I will start to play the video of the doctor program and the Ghana Science meeting. And you just please allow me to share my screen.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Wait.
Keshe Foundation Ghana, in association with Ghana Atomic Commission and Ghana Spaceship Institute, would like to invite you to attend the New Dawn, Africa's
You have to share the screen. We're not seeing the picture.
Yeah,
October 17th through 19th,
I'm trying to find
2016
the...
in Ghana. Keshe Foundation Ghana's mandate is to build awareness and promote plasma technology. The foundation is presently working with governmental institutions and other interest groups in Ghana to fulfill this goal. At the conference, you will be afforded the opportunity to learn about and experience plasma technology firsthand.
The cost of admission to the conference includes 3-night stay in one of Ghana's prestigious hotels. Hotel packages include a single, double, or twin room option, and an option for an apartment or suite. Breakfast, tea, and coffee breaks and a buffet lunch on the days of the conference are also included. Keshe Foundation Ghana is focused on utilizing plasma technology to solve numerous problems facing the African nation. Come to the New Dawn, Africa's Meteoric Rise and Spaceship Technology Conference in Ghana. Learn about plasma technology and learn how you can participate in spreading the word about it. Together, we can bring freedom to Africa and humanity. And we hope to see you there.
Thank you. 今天是10月15号，在这个明天、后天，会在这个加纳开始这个科技的会议，所以Stanley 他们应该是去参加了。那么今天呢，非常感谢由Flint 来帮我们主持今天的这个 Room 的会议，也感谢Top John 的加入。
Ruthie, was that my name?
Sorry, could you please pronounce your name? I don't know. Maybe it's not so correct. Yeah?
Torbjörn.
Torbjörn. Oh, okay. That's great. I'm sorry. You should correct me at the beginning so that I will not make mistakes all the time.
No problem.
Okay. Yeah. So right now I will try to speak in English, speak in Chinese, and I will explain, give the summary of the 139 public knowledge seeker teaching, and we have several topics to listen the video and discuss, and And then at the end, we will answer the questions which we have collected in last teaching for the GANs making and nano coating or something like that. So this is the topic of today. So right now I'll start to speak in Chinese. 欢迎大家来参加我们第3次的中文公开教学。那么这次我们邀请到 Flint 来帮我们主持，还有Tauber? Sorry, I really don't know how to pronounce your name. To join with us. Tauber, okay. And 那么我现在呢会做这个第139次的一些教学内容的一个总结，和往常一样，我们只是会对其中的几个技术问题做一些探讨。那剩下的时间呢，我们会继续我们关于干丝和纳米涂层的制作的一些应用，以及我们在上一次课程中没有来得及回答的一些问题，我们进行解答。Next page, please. And the next page, yeah. 那么第139次的教学呢，在这一部分的内容，首先凯斯先生提到了，就是还是宇宙委员会的他们的一些愿望，然后以及就是一个联合政府的建立。那么他谈到了奥巴马在联合国的发言，然后也提到了在2030年将建立这个世界政府。所以就是说，那么宇宙委员会的愿望是得到这样的一种回应，那么另外呢，他有提到有关这个地震的问题，就是说，那么凯史科技的这些实验室的各个地方的这个支持的 follower， 就是寻求者呢，都将来是这个灾难中的救援队。所以说，那我们去学习准备这种干丝，尤其是干丝的制作和应用就非常的重要这是重点中的重点。那么所有的这些技术呢，其实也是基于有了干丝之后，我们开始建立这个这个干丝水就等离子体，然后我们来学习这个场与场之间的相互作用。其实这个是整个等离子体科技的一个核心。所以我们会花几次的时间来进行有关干丝制作的相关的问题。那么第3点呢，有谈到就是意大利政府邀请凯史基金会参加10月份举行的
Looks like we lost Ruthie there. She'll be back in just a minute.
I'm sorry, I'm lost. 所以刚才有提到，意大利政府邀请凯史基金会参加10月举行的国家药品和健康会议。那么也有提到凯史基金会在地震之后，就是去进行这个干丝健康笔，以及这种干丝水等等这些发放，那么重点呢，凯史先生在这一讲了这个就是灵魂的这个工作的原理，就是说 那么在他这个医生的这个项目呢，就是培养工作在灵魂和情感层面的未来的宇宙医生。了解这些宇宙的知识的话，使我们回归到这个宇宙的大家庭。还有提到一点是关于就是在这个就问答的环节有一个朋友问到说，就是由于现在这种水、食物和空气就是都会有很多这种有毒的这种物质，它们这样的污染呢会降低我们的这个能量的这个等级，破坏我们大脑的这个工作状态。那么他提到如何让大脑回到良好的状态。那这里面就是特别要提一下，就是说现在我们喝的水，其实自来水里面都加了氟，这个人为的加了氯，还有氟，包含我们使用的牙膏，很多都是含氟的。那么这些氟这个东西，实际上它是抑制我们的这个就是脑垂体，应该是就是主要掌控我们第三只眼激活的这个，它会使这部分钙化，就是它阻碍我们这个有关意识的提升和灵性的发展。所以这些东西呢，但是就是它通过所谓的这种国际的这种标准啊，世界卫生组织啊等等，就是强行的在全世界去这些都加入了这些东西啊，所以说这个可能。大家也需要注意这方面，然后就是如何通过尽量避免，我们可以现在可以购买这些纯天然的不含氟的牙膏，那么水的话可以通过一些净化处理，然后来帮助我们尽可能的避免这一类的污染，包含这个食物，尤其是转基因对我们人体的这样的一种损害，这些其实都是一种变相的一种控制啊。那么第六点呢，就是讲到说凯什先生说人类总是低估自己的能力，那么以及愿望和我们人类自己的魅力。那因为这些能力呢，我们实际上是被剥夺和控制。剥夺和控制是通过什么呢？是通过对人类 DNA 的这样的一个控制来达成的，来做到的。那这部分它有一个很小的视频。就是我节选了其中的一部分，等一下我们也可以再做进一步的了解。那以及是说其中有谈到一个知识点，就是说这个在由这个制作锌干丝和制作铜干丝的时候，它上面产生的这些氨基酸有什么不同那这部分凯什先生也做了一个解释这些是一些大概的一些139次教学内容的一个重点的一个总结。那我们下面呢会来就是做其中的几点呢，我们来进行这个看一下就是带有中文字幕的这个视频，来共同一起回顾一下。So right now I will play the video. So Flint, please, I will share my screen. 那我们在138次教学的时候，还有很少的一部分关于这个人体的产生的这样的一个秘密的一个知识点，我们还没有学习，所以我们今天会把那部分有7分钟的一个视频，我们先来了解。
why doesn't your system work? Do we know how? I don't need the strength to accept it. Understand when a system doesn't work and you set it on the magnetical, gravitational, nanomaterial, GAN system, even matter state, or the mixture of them, where the balance doesn't fit in, where something that part of the knowledge is missing. If you made the human, why the body is not accepting the energy, all of it from the universe that it needs to eat? Is the gravitational field of the earth the cause of the existence of man in this form? You have to understand, the energy sits on the top. You are here, and the earth gravitational magnetic field is there. You are part of the condition of the fields. And earth needs you to have your physicality to be able to operate in different ways. You are the antennas, part of the process. You become antennas by your existence. Find out how you can take more from the fields that you need less from physicality of this. Then you can go without killing, you can go without destroying another life. Understand the equation that your soul is part of the structure of killing. I explained this past couple of weeks because I realized there is a misunderstanding in the whole process. And I explained it, and I explained it again and again because it's important for you to understand. And that is very simple. There is egg and a sperm. The interaction of the two has led to creation of the enough energy that it led to the creation of what we call a mass. Which this mass in its center, the same as you see in the hollow center in your core, has led to the creation of transfer of energies between it that has led to concentration of the field in the center. Then this center decides the shape of how this plasma will look. But the additional information which it didn't have is that now this center itself, now that it's a plasma, has to find its balance with the other centers, where the position of these centers dictates the shape and the color of manifestation of this physicality. The egg and the sperm. The line of communication, the emotion of the man. The center is the soul of the man. It's the soul of the man which dictates the shape of the man in the physical life. And in fact, if you look at it, now the interaction of the souls dictates the outcome of the shape of the man and physical behavior of the man. This is one thing that you never understood, and now you have to understand. This is how life exists in the universe. It's your soul which dictates the shape and the color of your eye, and your physicality as a common denominator in shape, but the color of it, the strength of it, is dictated how your soul has been preset by the other souls to be, that they find their position in their confinement of the universe. Be it the man on earth, be it another species in the universe. You thought you're alone, but in fact your soul is the dictator of your physicality and its manifestation of its conduct. And its conduct relates and conditions your soul to position itself in the others. You call it the day of judgment. It's not your physicality which dictates the position of the soul, it's your soul which dictates the position and the condition of your physicality. And the emotion is a Chinese whisper between the two. If you understood this, you understand the next level of understanding of the totality. You brought the matter, you made a GANs of it, you made it dynamic, you made the hollow center of it. It became the center of the field. That hollow center is in the brain of the man, as you call it, the soul of the man. And then each soul has to have its own interaction, what we call magnetic gravitational positioning in respect to the other souls, and what it gives to others has to take, and when they see the misconduct or change in the physicality of others, they have to position themselves that physicality changes. You say, I was unlucky, this happened to me, and you say, I was lucky, this happened to me. Had nothing to do with luck, because the souls have already positioned you to receive what you did good or what you did bad, or what to you was bad, but in fact you made a favor and you gave freely to the others without knowing, but the souls do not see that. They position themselves in what they receive from your bad conduct, which turned up to be the tale of unexpected for you, but it was reality of the conduct of the physicality. It will take you thousands of years to unravel the teaching of today, but those who do will achieve peace very rapidly. And this is our target.
好的，这是我们138次的这一部分的内容。那其实跟今天我们后续再讲139次更进一步阐述这个灵魂的工作模式，也是相联系的。那我们今天会多听一点这个视频的内容。
Physical. We wetted your feet. We brought you the taste of what it could be. Now we don't have time. We teach you fully. The doctors, I explained yesterday to them, have started the procedure. It's very strange when you don't need to take medicines and you don't need injections, but we had to go through the process for the doctors to see the effect of the plasma, the use of nanotechnology, the use of the coils, that they could build a trust in. And now we go to the next step. They've seen the results. Now we go to the cornerstones of the creation of the man. These kind of teachings will affect everything which the present world of medicine has considered to be sacrosanct. We do not go to fight, but we teach the essence of the creation from the control system, not from the mechanical end that is actually decided by the control. We teach the operation and control in the step, in the emotion part of the body of the man, which is his brain. And then we go into the dimension of the soul of the man, which is placed in the center of the embodiment of his physicality, which is his brain. And then we control the interaction with the condition of the soul. Soul has been made sacrosanct because we never understood it. Now we understand it. We find out it's the mother of the creation of the physicality. Now, we don't need to go and stay in the background trying to fix it. In mechanical system, in tablets and injections, we touch and we control, we teach the work of the soul. As I've said in many of my teachings in the past, when you go to another planet, body made of amino acid vaporizes due to magnetical field strength or due to temperature. The shape of your body is dictated by the construction and the energy and the balance of your soul with its environment. So now we have to learn how to interact with the soul of the man. This is what we are teaching in the health section. And in the coming time has to become a worldwide phenomena. That you don't need, you get an amputation of a leg through a mine, through an accident, you should not walk legless for the rest of your life. You know the information is within the brain. That's how it was created originally. You know it sits in your DNA. You know it sits in the information carrying of your RNA. Now we show the interaction of the work of the framework of the soul, which interacts with RNA, which dictates on DNA. It dictates the physicality, how to produce the part. Now we don't need to go in different shapes and sizes and do different things and buy what I call pieces to keep the physicality side moving. Now that we understand in a space we can, through our soul and emotion, change the appearance of the physicality, understanding that knowledge, we can change the internal structure of the physicality too. You have a problem with your heart, You don't need an operation. If the doctor understands the operation of the brain, where dictates the production or reproduction of the cell of the valve of the heart, which has caused the problem. And if the doctor is knowledgeable in understanding of the work of the soul, he can interact with the soul of the man at the energy level in the point where he is responsible for the creation of the heart. So the doctor understands the work of the soul and the emotion, irrespective of the physicality and where the physicality is. And these are the doctors of the universe. Because whatever creature I give you, you know the path is the same. If you are created in this universe and the universes we are part of, you have a soul. The structure of the strength of the soul in the interaction with the carrying the information and receiving, you call it the emotion, creates the physicality which you appear in. So, for the first time, man understands. The physicians of the man today, we are training to become part of the universal community. We become universal doctors. Man of medicine of the planet become the man of medicine of the universe. This is how you become part of the universal community. Not I only know how to fix men, and I only know tablets. We change the course of medicine. We change the course of the healthcare through our private teachings to the doctors, because they have to understand it. They have now, they're getting more and more confidence. They have to change the condition. It's them, they become the future teachers of how to interact with the soul of the man in the position which it is, that it can interact with the emotion of the man, that can deliver the physicality in the shape when the man needs it. If you're a doctor, an American patient come to you and you know physicality of the man, is it any different if the next patient is Chinese, or the next patient is black from Africa, or the next patient is an Iranian? No, because you understand the physical structure is the same. Now that we teach further into the space technology of the universe, now you understand the operation of the physicality depends on the motion, which is a transfer of the physical environment to the soul, and you understand the work of the soul, and it's the same across the universe. You do the same. A creature from the earth walks with one leg less, you fix it. A creature from another part of the universe walks with the help it needs, you still do the same. Is walking out of the village of the earth, being the medicine man, to become the surgeons of the universe. This is where we are shifting. This is where the teachings are going to concentrate. I spoke with you with the language of the man because you had to get confidence that the man can make these things. And now we speak with the language of the universe, and we teach the scientists or the people who understand it to move to that level. We make one nation out of this planet, but in time to, if this will fit, you change the operation of the eye. You change all. If the color of your eye is decided by your soul, as I was touching yesterday, if you go into another point or dimension in this universe, which we are sending rockets and shuttles trying to get to it, and the blue eye can be a cause for problem because absorbs and allows different light which is dangerous to the soul to enter. You change the color of your eye. You change the operation of the eye. You change the operation of the entrance of the light to your eye. So to get the evolution takes millions of years. To get to the soul, it takes milliseconds. You don't have time to evolve in another environment. You need to evolve immediately that you survive. You try to organize that in the brain, you're already gone. You understand the work of the soul and the position of the soul in the operation of the fields internally within the soul of the man, you will change the physicality in no time. It's your soul which has decided the color of the eye where you're born to fit in the environment, the amount of the light and the strength of the light which you receive. That's why you change to blonde and blue eyes, black hairs and brown eyes and the rest. Now we know the secret of the control comes from what we call the soul. So now we understand we need to work with the soul. And the soul has a structure. It's not just a field on its own. If the soul can decide the color of your eye, which the color and the operation of your eye is controlled by the specific part of the brain, and that specific part of the brain controls your eye, that you see, what lights you need. So in the soul of the man, there is a part which is dedicated to the eye of the man. And we know that. Now we teach you. And this is where the true space technology will start. This is what was promised. In autumn 2016, the condition of the man will change. And we bring that change. It's the same as what we said. We wished it, and the world leaders carrying it out, and the religious leaders. We announced it to the people who could tell you, now we deliver it. I still teach the nano, I still teach the GANs, I still teach how to make magraphs, I still teach how to make coils and how to make the free energy. But now we change to the next step of development. How to interact with the soul of the man. Physicality is irrelevant. And I do not, and I have not seen any banks where the souls bank their money. So is there a need for a financial and all the mayhem and being superpowers? We need to go into the depth of understanding the operation of the brain, because arms and legs, all your concern connected through nerves and chakras and pressure points to the brain. Now we go in the brain, and from the brain we show how these points of the brain connected to the soul. I have two choices. To waste another 1,000 years to teach you how to control the brain, and then in 1,000 years then to teach you how to find the connection between the brain and the soul, or go directly to do the soul and get away with all the mayhem we've seen. And I've decided I go with the soul. A lot of you will have a lot of problem understanding it, but those physicians who understand it will become present magicians, but in time to come they become universal doctors. And we have set the scene, we have started the teaching. Let me explain to you in a very simple way. You need to understand the operation between different angles and different conditions of the transfer of information. We need to understand how the information is carried from the different part of the physicality into the what I call physical, tangible control system you call brain. And then when you do that, you understand the brain as a mechanical information is just like a telephone in your hand. It receives information and it passes on the information. And some of the information is not needed, it's just for running the internal circuit. But in the background, the information is transmitted. It's transmitted to the soul. So if you look at the brain of the man as a mobile phone which receives and transmits, then you go for the station. Which mass is responsible for the arm and which mass is responsible for the leg? Then you come to understand another step in the development of the science of the creation. You thought that the motion of the leg through the neurosystem is connected to the brain. Yes, it does, for its physical part, not for its soul and emotion side, because that does not need neurosystem. That does not need transfer of the information through the nerves. It's instantaneous between the soul and fields of that part of the body with the headquarters in the soul of the man. This is what has never been understood. Neurosystems are used for the transfer of the knowledge from the physical part to the physical part of the brain of the man, and not in the field transfer. Which is instantaneous. This is where the misunderstanding has come in. And if you can send the information from the point of the soul for that part of the leg, you'll find out the physicality will follow the line of the information from the soul. It's very hard for you to understand because it does not fit into what you cut and what you look and what you work with as doctors. But very soon you'll find out there is no nerves but the leg moves because you touch the soul. We give the information to the soul irrespective of line of the nerve connected or not done. I have videoed this and nobody's seen it. I have shown this and nobody understood it. It's that easy. To get a physical leg going is very difficult. To tell the soul to get the physical part, soul to move, is instantaneous. This is what the medicine man of the soul will understand very quickly because it's so effective that they'll touch into it. But I have a very bad news for you. The way the housewives, the farmers, the doctors, and some of the world leaders got in the kitchen and made the ganses and the nanomaterials, so that they could see they can do it themselves. Now you can all do the same. Because if you're the last man standing in a space, you have no medicine man except yourself. So you have to understand what do we teach. You lose an arm in a space, you see your child lose an arm or a leg in an accident in a space, or part of you try to transform into fit into the area and doesn't happen, You don't wait for the evolution for 1,000,000 years. You go to your soul. You understand which part of the soul is responsible for the physical motion on that planet or your leg, and you release the energy on the request of what you need on the emotion. And the soul will do it automatically. You've done this many times. Human race has done this transformation many times. But they never realize the true master is the soul. We say you have a breast cancer on the left side is to do with the emotion with the mother. But you have to understand that what the mother created and gave, and you became the soul of the creation between the two, has a say in the operation of your soul. So if you create balance with the soul and the position of the mother, understanding why that soul of the mother created such a condition, because the parents of the mother, which are your grandparents' soul, created that position that she had to move your soul to this position. In satisfying their position, you find out in no time you have no breast cancer. We hide this in the nano-technology, in the GANs and the rotating cores and the GANs and all sorts of things. But in reality, if you look, collection of the GANSes is the same as the collection of amino acids. They have a soul. This is why from the beginning I said every time you start working with the GANs material, nanomaterials, pray for your system, and you forgot. Now you understand why. It's not a pray, it's making the link. And then your emotion becomes the link in your soul. Eradication of any kind of diseases, understanding the operation of the soul takes seconds. Because in a space you don't have time for evolution. You have to create the evolution yourself. Now you understand why we changed the process of teaching. Why we announced that from autumn of this year we start teaching motions. Because motions become the medicine men of the universe by the time we finish with them. The ones who come out, you've seen the jewels like Marco and Armin, who came out of the Keshe Foundation 2 years of teaching. Now you see a new dimension. We create the man of a space through the soul of the man, not the physicality of the man. And those who I finish with as motions will become the next generation of the leaders of the soul of the man in teaching, not leaders to control, leading to teach and to understand. The way we open the physicality of the man and we saw the nerves and the veins and everything else and the muscles, in the new teaching we open the soul of the man and show where and what fields and in what part interacts with what and what you need to do to change the physicality, change the color instantaneously. So emotions which we'll train become the true man of the space. And we have already chosen the souls. Because they will not teach with the words, but they will transfer the knowledge in the knowledge of the man, in the language the man understands, through the soul of the man to his physicality. Now the point is how ready the man is to accept the new knowledge. and how man is competent to carry the knowledge, and how man understands the knowledge that he can transfer it into the next dimension of non-tangibility, but knowing its decision will affect the tangibility. If you stop that picture on the screen, it's a planet Earth, but you see dots on it. When you look into the soul of the man, you see the same dots. Each dot is responsible for one thing or another in the physicality of the man. When I open the soul of the man, and the operation of the soul of the man is no different than what we see as a rotating sphere with highlights, where the mass energy has a tangibility which is invisible to the man with the present knowledge. But I'll make it visible. You will see the same islands, and you see the same nudges and the same field of strength in the soul of the man, which in that field of strength is responsible for transmission of the information to the emotional side, which is your brain, and then to physicality. If you thought reptiles, some can change when they lose their tail and replace it in a few days or weeks, I teach you how it's done with the man in minutes, because all the energies for development of the ligament is already there. It's just putting it into shape. Just creating the right field that they gel. So from now on, we go into a true space technology development. From now on, we detach from the physicality. From now on, we work only with the fields and the operation of the fields, be it in energy, be it in matter production, be it in food, be it in anything the man desires. From now on, in the teachings, we work with the interaction of the fields, and one of the beauties of the interaction with the fields is that because is in the strength of your thoughts, through the soul, you have the capability to give it the physical manifestation. The way you can manifest your arms and legs to the shape the soul wants in the womb of the mother, now the universe becomes the womb, and the soul of the infant in this womb of the mother decides the shape and the color and the size of the man. Very interesting. We had the test done for us for those who were what I call, they did not have the understanding of what is to come. And this was a good test. We gave them freedom for months to run around, and for those who could have been the cause of the problem of the transformation, they have already cleaned up for us. So they sit in their camps. Those who understand the change will come. We take the soul from those who done the job, because we take from their soul the weakness and we give them the strength to rise to the new understanding. The problem is we have access to everything in this universe. It is us who has to decide how and where and why we allow it, why we tolerate it, why we have this shape till we got another shape. You will understand, in the universe there is no cancer, but the cancer of the man is his own emotion in respect to his soul. Soon you will understand. And the process of the teaching from now on goes totally, as I said, you were happy, you had enough tests done with liquid plasma. And I said, we have already registered field plasma. Now we go into the field. And it needs a lot of the trust of the man in his field of thoughts to see the work of the field. The game is a universal game, not man's village game. No more donkeys. We are on the shuttles of spaceship. There's no use me putting you on a space.
好的，我们先听到这里。那我不知道大家对于今天听到这部分内容有没有一些可以讨论的？因为我感觉从138次的教学之后的话，凯斯先生已经将这个教学的这个主题转向了灵魂，揭示这个灵魂情感与这个身体连接的这些奥秘，可能跟我们之前所学的这些干湿的制作啊，或者是说这些磁引力单元这些能源，其他的又就是更进了一步。那可能也有一些朋友可能对这些概念呢，可能不是那么容易接受就像开始先生也说了，很多东西可能有些人要明白起来要花上千年的时间才能够了解。好的，那我想就是这个时间点呢，我交给大家，看看大家有没有一些问题，我们和大家想要对这个话题的一些讨论。Okay, I give some time for us to discuss this video, and or you can ask a question if you have questions.
If you have a question, please raise your hand.
Ruthie?
Yes.
I think it's very hard to understand the first 20-25 minutes, because Mr. Keshe is talking about human experience that is completely new. It's a new angle, you see, altogether. The human experience is about the history that we know so far, all the things that we do, and actually as well take for granted. And it is at the same time it's necessary, so it's we think it's necessary, and all these habits just becomes a conflict if you want to see from the perspective of what Mr. Keshe calls the soul.
Yeah. So what's your question, or what's your problem? I mean.
No, he says Mr. Keshe understand that this is not easy to fathom, just because we're human beings, and we all have habits and stories, and Mr. Keshe is putting us to understand from the angle of the soul, which is very new and very strange for many people.
Yes. 他的意思是说，就是前面这部分其实是理解起来比较难，因为我们作为人类来说，我们都有我们自己所认知的历史和我们所接受的一些教育。那么凯史先生呢，他是从这个灵魂的角度来对这一部分进行阐释所以说就是说这部分理解呢是有一些困难他解释。那么就是如果观众想要，就是听众想要发言的话，就是可以举手，然后来讨论一下你们听到的内容，以及是说你们可能不理解需要做进一步解释的部分。Yeah, so ask them if they have questions, they can maybe ask, and we have a little bit discussion. Please, Flint, go to next page.
If they have questions, ask them to raise their hand.
It's not here. It's next page. Yeah. Okay, next page. Oh yeah. Okay, seems that I missed some part of the summary. Okay, so go back a little bit. Go back. Okay, next, yeah. OK， 那么这个地方是有讲到说这个就是线圈的这些用于医疗和农业的线圈，当时是可以销售了，在开始基金会的这个网站上，大家可以看到这是一个照片。And next page。对，这一点要特别提到的就是比较关键的是这个克劳斯上那一次课程中，克劳斯教授展示的有关等离子水，就是这些干丝水的照片。那么他就是利用了一种就是一种特殊的一种木材，就是这个木材的话，一般的这种水啊是很难穿透的。那么它是有用这种木材，然后呢还有一些盐水跟这个干丝的这样一种混合，然后最后发现这个木材全部都被穿透了，而且它拍下来这个它就是穿透它的这个辐射形成的这些照片，就能够看到我们不同的这种干丝水的场，那么二氧化碳、氧化锌、CH3、氧化铜，还有一些血水，以及是说一些矿物质，它形成的场都不一样。那么凯史先生当时提到这个东西非常好，非常的关键，就是说它提供了一个将来去标准化测试的一个模板，就是说我们可能很多人做了很多干丝，到底这个出来的是不是啊，或者是怎么样，可能我们也不好去测量，到底它的强度有多少，它能量有多强，好像我们也没有一个实际的手段。那么这个呢，就为将来就是说这样的一个标准化提供了一种可能。然后这个克劳斯教授他当时还讲到一点，就是说整个地球的这个能量系统呢，它其实是有很多能量点的。那么他自己的话是通过他的意识的这种感知啊，他的觉知，他自己的知觉系统能够去感知到地球这些点。那么他也在教学，就是他跟这个俄罗斯的一些军方有非常好长期的一个合作，他也在教他的学生如何去感知这个地球的能量场系统，然后并且感知测试它们的强度，这是比较关键的一点，我再跟大家提一下。Okay, so next page. Okay, so now we go back to the Q&A. 就是针对我们前面的两个部分，有关人体产生的原理，然后灵魂的工作机理这部分的内容，就是我不知道观众们还有没有一些问题，也可以在那个就是聊天的这个栏上面打。那如果你们有问题或者需要发言，就请举手。那主持人的话会给你们这样一个权限。
And explain to them to please raise their hands, and I'll promote them to panelists so they can ask their questions.
Yeah, yes, I already explained them for that. Okay. Let me check if the QQ group, they have some questions or something like that. Okay, so seems no questions. Okay.
They can also type their questions in the Q&A section in Zoom or in chat.
Yes. 就是大家可以在那个问题栏或者是在这个聊天栏里面输入问题哈。OK， 那如果大家针对这部分没有太多的问题呢，我们也可以继续再听一段。那么实际上，我想我可以把这部分的内容在一些核心关键的部分再给大家说一下。实际上这部分就是讲到未来的这个 医学的发展都不再是以这个打针吃药的这样一种方式，那么都是核心的是认识到这个灵魂，以及灵魂如何通过情感去控制这个我们的身体。那么在这个层面的话，很多的这样的一个病，就是他了解这个原理之后，那么这样未来的这些医生的话，他是完全是在灵魂层面上来去做沟通，然后就能够直接解决这些身体上的问题。那么就不需要去通过这种药片或注册的这些机制。那么未来就是说，如果我们的肢体出现了残缺，那么实际上我们的信息的话在这个大脑中我们是可以重新去复制的，所以就有点像这个就是怎么讲，就是一些生物啊，断了变色龙，断了这个尾巴还能够长出来一样。那么这里面它核心提到的这个交互，就是说我们的信息实际上是保存在 DNA 中，那么这个我们的灵魂呢，它是可以去跟 RNA 来互相沟通。那 RNA 它就是会把这个信息传导给 DNA， 去改变我们的 DNA， 从而改变我们身体的这样一个形态。所以这个地方它是这样子，就是很关键的一点，就是灵魂跟 RNA 去交互，然后呢，它重新改变我们的 DNA， 来决定了我们的身体的形态的。所以就是未来的医生，他只要了解大脑的运作以及如何去影响这些细胞的话，就拥有这个知识，那么他就可以直接在灵魂层面告诉这个心脏如何去创造这个东西。其中还有一点比较关键的。
There's a question in the Q&A and several in the chat now.
Okay, it's good. Okay. Okay, so seems that they are more interesting about how to make guns, and they said that Chinese are very familiar with the soul concept. So maybe we can just jump out and to next two short videos, and then we just go back to the discussion of the guns.
Okay, and what about the two questions in the Q&A?
Oh, I didn't see the question. Wait a minute.
In the
yeah,
Q&A button down in there, just hit the Q&A button at the bottom.
Oh yeah. So the one question is is there two energy supply system inside the human's body?
Can you repeat that question,
yeah.
please?
The question is from Bing Xia Wu Dao. She asked that the energy supply system in the human body is there two sets of that. So maybe I can ask her to explain the question a little bit.
If she raises her hand, I can promote.
冰霞悟道，你可以说话吗？你可以解释一下您的问题吗？就是如果你可以讲话，那么请您举手。
Ruthie, maybe referring to what Mr. Keshe says in the beginning, where he puts the human being in the gravity center. You know, maybe that's what she means.
Yeah, she can't speak. She said her microphone is not work well, and yeah， 那他是刚才想问您说，是不是从你是这个问题是从哪里来？是从这个凯史先生一开始讲到这个人的从这个引力场这部分吗？所以这个问题就是可能需要您进一步的解释。
You know,
您可以
if that is the question, then what Mr. Keshe explains is that the unconscious human is a long story of gravity evolution, and the magnetic energy is stays in the potential. You see, so when you find the source of a human being, which he refers to as the soul, then that is the magnetic field. So the human being is incomplete until the human being finds its soul.
OK， 对，他的意思是这样子来解释的，就是我们对人体大部分的认知都还是在这个引力场的概念，然后我们没有认识到这个磁力场。然而，就是我们的灵魂的话，它其实是磁力场的。所以说，当人类没有认识到这个灵魂的时候，实际上对这个整个人的认知和这个世界的认知是不完整的。这是他的一个回答。
And you can also say, Ruthie, that in this technology, we essentially use zinc and copper in order to get the balance as much outside as inside of all kind of illnesses.
所以我们在这边的话是通过这个铜干丝和锌干丝来达到这两个能量的平衡的。Okay, and another question is how to feel the soul and how we can distinguish the emotion and the soul.
Yes, it is a very, very good question. When you Dr. Klaus puts it very nicely. He says that he was referring to what Mr. Keshe said to him, that he really had to think about, that the truth touches the soul.
OK， 这是一个非常好的问题。他引用了这个克劳斯先生就是对这个凯先生教學的一个解释。他说，真理是触及灵魂的。
And that when you are a master of your emotions, then you get to the source of the truth, which is directly referred to as the perfect action and the perfect word.
就是当你成为情感的大师，就是你完全掌控了情感之后，那么你就能够触及这个就是灵魂的这个真实性。
And also, we have ethics and unconditional love. Ethics and unconditional love, essentially, is the frequency that is referred to.
OK， 就是所以无条件的爱和这个就是这种道德，它是这个能够触及这个灵魂的频率的。
And the gravitational consequences is only taking. That's what Mr. Keshe is referring to when he's saying killing or taking another life.
引力场它就是获取，就像凯史先生说的，他就是要通过杀戮，杀死别人或者怎么样来获取。
So you realize from the center of the brain, referring to the soul, that you don't need to kill to survive anymore.
那么你从你的灵魂深处认识到你不需要再去杀戮，因为灵魂它是就是磁力场的，是给予。
You know, the taker is the gravity field, and the giver is the magnetic.
引力场是获得者，磁力场是给予者。
And when you connect the two, then you are the infinity loop.
当你和这两者都联系起来的话，你就形成了一个无限环。Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your answer. I think it's very interesting and yeah.
It's a lot to say about it, you know, really.
Yeah, it is exactly. And somebody asked, is the plasma glass can help people to see the people's human soul, and how to make the plasma glass?
Yes, the answer is yes. It's though happening gradually, that you even from a MAGRAV unit or just a simple health pen, it's gradually there is a process when it comes to the familiarity with the fields.
Okay, so you mean even we can see the soul from the MAGRA system or
Yes.
the pen? Oh,
yes.
okay.
The MAGRAV unit creates a vortex, and the gravity and the magnetic connection is through electricity. That's just for the hydrogen base.
OK，所以他是说这个等离子眼镜是能够帮助人看到灵魂的。那即使不用这个眼镜，实际上我们通过我们现在做磁引力单元和这个乃至健康笔都是可以看到的。这取决于你对这个场的这个敏感度，就是你去对场的这个感觉。
You can say that it takes about a week, 5 days to a week, before the whole body is in the vortex field from one MAGRAV unit.
You mean it needs 2 weeks?
No, 5 to 1 week.
5 to 1 week.
Yeah, because in the beginning, as soon as you put the electric contact to the grid, then it's you have a vortex that is approximately twice as big as a tennis ball.
Yes. Okay, so you mean from the MAGRA system, when the electricity is working and it create a vortex, right?
Right.
And it need 1 to 5 weeks to build the field.
No, 5 to 1 week, 5 days to 1 week.
Oh, 5 days to 1 week. Okay, okay. 所以他是说，当就是我们的磁引力单元在工作开始供电以后，然后它会形成一个就是漩涡。那么实际上的话，这个漩涡形成需要5天到1个星期的时间。实际上凯史先生在这一期的教学里面有讲到一句话，他说，当这些就是玩这些球，然后转，然后能够看到那个中空的那些人，实际上他们已经触及灵魂了，但是他们没有意识到。所以在这部分的话，就是说看你怎么去感受这个场景。他一直也在讲说，我们的灵魂其实是在大脑的这个内部，它是在真空，它是一个真空的状态。这是我这个138次的这个最近的这一小段里面也有讲到的。OK，
you can also add with it that this all depends on how you make your MAGRAVs.
这也是取决于你是如何制作你的磁引力单元的。
The reason why this is quite precise is because when people look at the first blueprint that came out from Keshe Foundation, the vortex is stipulated in green. It's the middle of the upper coil and the middle of the down coil. That's where the vortex is.
OK， 就是说它是如果看这个最初的这个蓝图的话，它是表示它是在上面画的是一个绿色的，是在这个上面的这个线圈的中间和下面线圈的中间。
And also, after when you have the ignition for the plasma vortex from the hydrogen base, it can only grow and get bigger very fast.
How it can grow bigger?
It's growing because the ignition point is just the usage of the hydrogen. But then as the vortex with gravity and magnetic field starts to spin, an active vortex, then it collects all the best particles from the vacuum, and that's how it grows bigger.
Hydrogen. I don't understand why hydrogen can cause that.
Oh, the hydrogen. When you look at the hydrogen and you have an electron spinning around it.
Yeah.
That's why we're using a ping pong ball in order to be sure that the hydrogen space gets smaller and smaller, so that the electrons around the hydrogen collides with another electron, and that's the explosion of the plasmatic vortex.
Okay, so you mean the
And that's just the ignition. There is much more than just hydrogen, you know. But you use the hydrogen in the beginning, in the GANs grave. That's
I think there's no hydrogen in the ball, right? You pour out all hydrogen out?
No, it's in it's the birth of the vortex, using the hydrogen and the electrons around.
Okay. Yeah, but we need to add some hydrogen into it.
No, it's already there in the GANs.
Okay. But I mean, if for some GANs you use CO2 or use copper or use zinc, but I don't know. I mean, you add some hydrogen GANs into it, right?
Yes, but it's already hydrogen. You see, that's why Mr. Keshe in the beginning last year said that you need a minimum of GANs, which is copper, zinc, and iron.
Yeah.
And together you can be sure that it's more than 6. Every time you mix 2, you have at least 1 extra. So it's at least 6 molecules from the vacuum. At least 6 particles.
Okay.
Hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen, you know, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, but I still don't understand how hydrogen comes out, because you said they have only 3 cans of GANs, but how the hydrogen comes out?
The hydrogen doesn't get out. It's the birth of the vortex. Then the GANs grave becomes the sun, and the coils, the curves around, becomes micro suns. You see? That's the vortex. It's not the hydrogen coming out. We're using the hydrogen for the ignition purpose. And as soon as you have the plasma vortex, you have the explosion of a plasma vortex, and then it starts to grow using much more than just the hydrogen. The gravity and the magnetic field.
It seems that I still not familiar with the blueprint. I need to go back to learn a lot from that. Yeah.
It is beautiful. The vortex is different when it comes to other units, you know. It's different if you make a 6-stacker or a 9-stacker, or if you make a health pen or MHU or a hand scanner, you know. It's the same kind of vortex, but it's going to be different from one MAGRAV to another. There is not one that is complete copy.
OK， 就是他是说用这个氢来产生这样的一个真空，是来帮助在这个干丝产生这个真空，然后呢就会产生这样一个旋转，然后你用不同层的这个就是持引力单元，然后它的这个漩涡它形成的是不一样的，不知道就是在听的这些朋友们，有没有对这部分比较了解的，就是这个原理哈，它到底是怎么产生这个漩涡的这个 MAGRA 系统？因为这块我之前就是也没有很了解这一块，如果可以的话，可以请听明白的这个朋友来进一步解释一下，或谁的英文比我好一点。
You can also add that when the body is in the vortex, you must be brain dead not to realize it.
But you mean we're already in the vortex, but we don't notice that, right? Awareness that.
Oh, you mean about the vortex from Mother Earth?
No, from MAGRA. You see our body go into the MAGRA, and you can feel that, but I didn't feel anything exactly for my MAGRA system.
Yes, because as I said, when you increase in consciousness with the drinking and the treatments from zinc and copper, then you get to realize it more and more. You get more and more sensible to the plasma energy.
所以他的意思是说，我们要喝这个新干丝水，这样子我们的这种就会对这个场，对这个等离子的能量，就更敏感，就是能够感受到这个场的能量。
And the reason why we're talking about more intelligence is just because the plasma energy is very, very intelligent.
就是因为这个等离子的这个能量的话，它是非常非常智慧的。
And the way it is intelligent is through the balance of emotions and genetics.
它的为什么它是这样的智慧？就是它能够平衡我们的这个就是情绪以及这个是基因吧 ，genetic.
So you get very peaceful and solution-minded, you know.
所以就是我们就会变得非常的平和。Okay, and they have a lot of questions, I think. So how we can change the strength of our soul, or how we can improve?
I think it's a very good start to make zinc GaNs and copper GaNs, because when you're bending over your container, then you actually start the process to strengthen the fields and the connection to the Keshe Foundation knowledge, actually.
OK， 所以他是说我们先要做一些新干丝跟铜干丝，然后这些干丝它本身也就在帮助我们改变这个就是强度，然后跟开始科技有更多的联系。OK，
Another way to do it, Ruthie?
I did promote the Leon Zhang. He's in the panelist here to ask a question.
Okay, which kind of question? Okay.
You just ask him to unmute and ask his question.
No, it's not a question. Yeah.我只是想解释一下，因为有的时候我没有听明白他在讲什么，所以我需要就是去问他，他解释更清楚，然后我才可以来试着翻译。那如果我们的听众朋友有就是外语比较好的，听得比较清楚的，也可以来就是服务大家哈。Yeah. Okay.
To the last question, Ruthie, you have to add that another way to strengthen the fields with the body connections and the universe is through to create an inner core and an outer core with the torsion field. That works very fast to strengthen the fields as well.
另外一个就是要加强我们跟这个宇宙和这个身体的这样的一个联系。那么他就是建议去制作这个内球和内核外核旋转。它是这个的话是非常快的，能够提升我们的灵魂的强度的。
And you're using liquid plasma on the outer core, and more acid gas from food, for example, or pure zinc in the inner core.
在外层的话是用这个等离子体，就液态等离子体。里层呢用一些这种酸的干丝，就是从食物里面制作出来的，就是酸性更强的这个干丝。Yeah. And to turn it around, right?
Yes, you need 2 motors, but there are so many ways to create different alkaline in the cores. Many ways to do it, but they're all working to strengthen the fields, you know.
我想发个言可以吗
？Flint? Are you there, Flint?
Yes, I am. That was Leon Zhang that asked the question. I don't know if you understood that.
My Chinese is very bad.
I'm back.
Can you have Leon ask his question again there?
Yeah, is there still some questions?
Yeah,
okay.
Leon Zhang spoke up. I don't know what he said though.
喂，我想提问一下。
OK， 请讲。
刚才呢讨论了几个问题啊，我就把问题给听。其实说到这个关于灵魂方面呢，应该说我们中国人都很熟悉，也很感兴趣。我就想提问一下，就是凯史先生他论述灵魂的时候，他怎样论述这个灵魂和这个身体的它这个几何上的或者空间大小的这个关系呢？
Yeah, Mr. Zhang has a question that it's about the relationship between the soul and the physics from the space position.
Okay. I don't think I could see the question there. Oh, the relationship?
Sorry, I think maybe he want to know where the soul located and inside the body, I think. Is that? 就是张老师，你的意思是想问，其实灵魂是位于肉体的什么部分吗？就是他们之间的位置的这种关系吗？
Yes, Mr. Keshe is pointing out in the middle of the left and the right brain, in the center of the brain.
位置讲过，就是它的功能，就是它与这个灵魂这个场有多大，是无限大呀，还是说这个看开始先生怎么认为的？我们中国人认为这个灵魂是非常大，没有边界的。但开始先生怎么认为？就是我们灵魂的大小，这个或者说它这个灵魂是一个磁力场，刚才讲到了是一个磁力，那么它这个正向的有多大？
he asked. Yeah, he asked that how big, I mean, the soul inside the body, because you said it's inside the body is a boundary of the soul, because for us, our understanding, we think that the soul is unlimited. It's like all over the university seems like that. But Mr. Keshe said that the soul is located inside of our body and inside the brain. So, yeah, we think that's a question. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Keshe is not talking about any biological reference here. It is a light plasmatic connection. That is the connection to the soul, and it's located between the left and the right brain. But of course, the evolution and the gravity field doesn't makes a difference between those who have a soul connection in consciousness and those who that doesn't realize it. That's why he's referring very often to politicians and governments, because they clearly don't have any soul connection.
OK， 所以他的意思就是说，这个灵魂它并不是指的这种生物上的这样的一个一个东西，它指的是一种就是一种连接，就是说那么他是说它的位置是位于这个左脑跟右脑中间的这样的一个部分，但是呢，实际上就是很多人他们的灵魂跟身体是失去了连接的，它就是像一些政客啊，或者一些什么样的人，他们其实是灵魂跟肉体是没有连接上的。
It's also Mr. Keshe is very often drawing the brain and the torso, you know, the heart and the solar plexus as one and the same body, and the feet in between is referred to as the gravity field.
Sorry, I think I didn't catch what you mean. Yeah, can you explain?
When you have a 888 that he draw on the screen, you have a 888, right? It's the universe connected to the brain and the solar plexus and the heart, but the feet represent the Mother Earth. So that's the connection from the soul as much as through the universe.
I don't know what Mr. Keshe explained for the 3-8, what it looks like, and how.
Yes, in the beginning, Ruth, when you played Mr. Keshe now, no, I guess an hour ago, he was drawing the two fields between the solar plexus, the stomach, and the brain, and the universe. But the 888 is the Mother Earth and the feet.
You can annotate now and draw it.
Say again, Flint?
You feel free to share a whiteboard and draw if you want to.
Are you talking to me, Flint?
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid isn't we need you know, because I have very long answers, so I'm afraid.
Yeah, so maybe.
Let's run through the questions.
Yeah, maybe can you try to explain in a shorter way and show us? Okay, that's I mean, because we talk about the soul, I think it's not a matters. So I don't think they have the we think it treated as a matters has boundary or something like that. Do you agree that?
Absolutely, that's the danger, so to speak, because you see, if man doesn't change, and this change, for example, Mr. Keshe is you know, in this session when he's talking about the soul, Stanley Kubrick in the end of his great movie, he's showing a little child in the fetus, right? And this is the image, because you will understand yourself when you have your soul connection open. You will understand yourself as a completely new human being. That's why Mr. Keshe is very often referring to a peaceful human being.
他是说在那个视频里面后面的部分，我不太知道他说那视频那一块，他是说就是就说这个如果你联系到，就是你跟你的灵魂相连接的话，那么你就会变成一个非常平和的人。所以就是还是在讲说这个它不是连接的，因为我刚才问他的问题是说灵魂它不是物质层面的，我们可能没有办法去形容它体积有多大或者是什么样的一个东西，所以这个应该不能够按照这样的一个角度去理解。Okay, I think we can stop this this question right now, and I think we can discuss some question about the GANs, because a lot of people they have asked some question. So can you go to next page, Flint? Yeah. So okay, so we can. So can you answer the question one by one, or some? I think it's this question can be easily or short to answer. Yeah. Is amino acid a kind of gas, or is it a plasma?
That's a very good question. It's in many ways you can look at it as GANs. But in reality, it's part of the GANs. You see, one of the layers that's in the top of the container, that's referred to as amino acid. And the top of the, you don't get it all the time, but very often you get to see a very strange pattern that looks like disorganized dust. And that's the amino acid. It's not very beautiful.
Yeah, but why you say it's a part of GANs? Because
it's the part of the GANs, because let's say that you don't pick it up, and you stare it. Let's say you do pick it up, and use it. You store it in another container. It's a very thin layer.
Yeah.
But you can't get rid of it. the amino acid is in all areas in the water molecules. So the layer on the top is just you can call it the overproduction of the amino acid, but all the water molecules have amino acid in it forever.
OK， 所以他的意思是说，氨基酸你也可以说它是一种干丝，它本身它也是这个干丝的其中的一部分，因为它实际上如果你不把它去表面那层取出来的话，你把它搅拌了，然后它其实就融入在所有的这个水分子里面了，它本身就每个水分子都含有这个氨基酸。So it is also a plasma, right? It's a
absolutely. It's that's the way we use it, you know. It's hard to call the amino acid non-active, but it is the truth. You have to activate the amino acid once you have it. So it's important to realize the difference between the amino acid from the iron as much as from the copper or zinc as examples.
OK， 所以它绝对是一个那个等离子体，这就是我们去利用它就是我们要知道，就是它每一种铁的这个氨基酸跟铜的氨基酸它的不同，然后来去运用它。Okay, I think we can close this question. And the second one is yes. So have you any experience to use GANS water to help people to improve the anemia?
Flint, I need your expertise on anemia.
Okay, just a minute.
In the meantime, Ruthie, it's important that people know that all the amino acids are amazing skills. They can do whatever you want them to do. They can build a new tissue. They can build a leg where you don't if you miss a leg or lost a leg in an accident, then we're using the amino acid to reconstruct.
Okay. 所以就是说，这个氨基酸它的作用是非常非常的重要的，它是可以来帮你重新产生这些组织啊、肌肉组织啊。等你的你比如说你断了一条腿，它是可以让你重新来恢复的。But I mean, do you know anemia? Anemia is a kind of disease that such as you have not enough blood or something like that. You will feel headache or something like that. Yeah.
It's defined as a decreased amount of red blood cells or hemoglobin in the blood, so it can't carry, so the blood can't carry as much oxygen.
Okay.
So they say low iron or
It's very clear that if it's a lack of oxygen and or directly referring to the blood cells, then it's very important to see the finest zinc GANs that you can get. Those in liquid plasma state will of course help to increase decrease the illness and get the blood system back to balance, because Mr. Keshe said I think it's 3 days ago that the red blood cells are the emotions, and the emotions, the best product that we have is zinc GANs, liquid plasma.
Okay. So you mean the anemia is caused by lack of oxygen, right?
That's what they say in the physical. Now, how does that translate to the emotional side?
Yeah， 就是从物理上来说，就是这个贫血是因为缺氧造成的，但是实际上呢，就是这个血红蛋白它其实跟人的情绪是有关系的，所以这个是就是又可以用这个锌酐丝来做。So if people drink zinc gans can improve the anemia, right?
Absolutely, and also it will stabilize very fast the lack of oxygen as well, because even if you clear out 5 times zinc gans, you will still have a very what we call a pH value. It's the balance in the water molecules, and they will increase the level of oxygen to the brain as well.
Sorry, let me translate. Sorry, because I can't remember so much. 就是所以说这个锌酐丝的话，它也能够快速的恢复这个缺氧的这个状况，就是它能够平衡这个水分子。对。Yeah.
And when you mean zinc gans, you mean CO2.
Yeah.
Oh, CO2 or zinc gans?
Zinc gans liquid plasma.
But zinc gans, yeah. But when Tuber is saying zinc gans, he means CO2, not ZNO, right?
Yeah.
Why? I think zinc gans is ZNO, and if we call the CO2 gans, it's CO2. Is that you mean?
That's why I don't use the periodic system, because there is no zinc in the zinc gans and there is no copper in the copper gans, you know. So
yeah.
I'm trying to be, because when you use a container, plastic container, then you won't miss the zinc gans as you produce it. It's a white, very soft, cloudy white, you know. So I'm very often just saying zinc gans, you know, plasma in liquid plasma or the gans itself.
Referring to CO2, so it's CO2 gans.
Okay, so it's a CO2 gans. Okay. Okay.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
So what do you call zinc gans? Actually, ZNO gans. What do you call that when you're using a nano-coated zinc plate with a zinc plate?
Yeah, but we use the copper gans with zinc to make a zinc gans also. So you mean you make zinc gans with nano-coated zinc to make?
Yes, that is.
You know, that's very important, because when you nano-coat a copper plate, then you're not going to have any reaction at all from the copper. You will only have the reaction between that's why it's so important to nano-coat correctly the copper plates, because it is the nano field from the eventually zinc or copper or iron, for example. Then it's the connection in the salt water between the nano layer on the copper and the plate, vice versa. So that's very important, because very, very often you have a mixture where the hydrogen, for example, is getting into the pattern of zinc gans, and that's not meant to be.
So zinc gans and CO2 gans are the same thing in your mind.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Yes. CO2 is very, very often referred to as zinc gans.
Yes. Okay. And yes, I know you do get varying amounts of ZNO in the CO2 mixture.
Yeah. So it's that's why I emphasize very often that it's important to have at least 9,000 to 10,000 layers of nanomaterial. And the way you check this out is when you let's say that you have less layer on the plate than, it's not completely black, then you can measure sorry you can measure the holes by taking a piece of copper and you hold it against the darkest and the lightest layers of nano, and then you realize that if it's a big difference, then it's okay to use it, because it's very hard to get a copper plate that is completely covered. It's very hard, and it's not needed. What's needed is the like I said, between 8 to 10,000 layers. 20 to 23,000 layers, they become completely black for the eye to see.
Yeah. 所以他的意思是说，这个纳米涂层要做8000到10000层这样子，然后到2万多层就看起来完全黑了，So you mean the nano we need to have the very good nano coated so that it can produce the zinc GaNs?
Yes.
Okay,
all the GaNs. You see, the copper plates that you are nano coating, all of them should be like this for all the GaNs.
Yeah. Okay, but can we go back to our question that to have a conclusion for the question? We can drink CO2 GaNs, not zinc GaNs, to improve the anemia, right? Is that correct?
Yes, it is the liquid plasma from the zinc GaNs. Okay.
Okay.
CO2.
But it's not CO2 GaNs.
Yes.
You always confuse me, my God. 所以他的意思就是说，就是喝这个二氧化碳的上面的那个液态等离子水，然后来治疗改善贫血，而且它能够很快的补充这个就是缺氧的这样一个状况。Okay.
But Ruthie, you can relax about it because the person who is asking won't mistake.
Okay, so another question is very easy. When we use the plastic spoon to collect the amino acid, and we are told that it should be nano-coated. So how to nano-coat the plastic spoon? Just put it, yeah.
Well, the reason why it has been said that you need to nano-coat a plastic spoon is because the water molecules won't gather the amino acid if you don't. So it's much easier to nano-coat the spoon. But the way you do it is you won't see necessarily the nano layer on the plastic spoon. But you have to remember that when you create a plasmatic field using the grid and the caustic soda, you get rid of the oxygen in the tank or the container, then the plastic will have a direct interference with the procedure. So you will realize that when you move the spoon on the upper layer of the tank or the container, that it's much easier to connect to collect the amino acid.
Yeah, so just put the plastic spoon into the sodium hydroxide, and that's fine.
The same way that you're nano-coating all the other devices.
Okay, such as copper or the same way.
You want best way is to put it in a bag and spray in some cold caustic, Otherwise, the plastic will melt in hot caustic.
Caustic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
caustic or NaOH, cold caustic,
Yeah.
a room temperature solution that's been saved from your nano coating of the plates.
But it should be cold, right? Because if it's hot, it will burn the plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using the grid, so it's high up in the container.
Okay.
Meaning it's laying on the mesh.
Yeah, mesh. Yeah, sorry, grid I call it.
So are you using a hot caustic method then, Torbjörn, or are you using cold?
Yeah.
Oh, I've done both.
Well, tell them how the best to do nanocoat plastic.
Well,
yeah.
I think we said it, Flint, because your version is as good as mine. It's even better your way, actually, because I've been doing this always, just not to lose the spot. If I have a spot that is left in the container, then I have the spoons as well. So that's why it's always on the top, so it doesn't melt. Of course, if you put it very close to the caustic soda, then it's gonna melt.
Yeah, OK， 所以这如果是放到，应该还是熏蒸的这种方式，或者是放到冷碱液浸泡一下，就是跟大多数我们做这个涂层的这个是一样的方法，但是太热的可能会把那个就是塑料给溶掉。OK, so another question is
well, once you nano coat it though, so you either put it in your container and steam coat it, or you put it in a plastic bag and spray in your spray in your NaOH and let it sit for an hour or so, a couple hours, and let it nano coat. You always have to rinse it. You take it off, you rinse it with distilled water.
OK, 所以就是把它
you have to rinse off the sodium hydroxide.
Yeah, 就是把它那个去熏蒸，或者是说把它放在一个塑料袋里面，在它上面喷这个冷碱液，然后放在阳光底下再晒一晒，这样子就是跟以前一样。Okay, so I think we can go ahead to next question. Is the amino acid we made from the top layer of GANs is the same with amino acid in our DNA? It's the same?
No, it's not. This is a good question and a very important question. One have to realize that if you combine that question with the first question, you realize that the amino acid from the top layer in the container is it's a big production of amino acid, but it's important to understand that even if you don't collect it, you will have amino acid in all your ganses as much as in the GANs as in the liquid plasma. You see the GANs water.
Yeah, wait. Let me translate. Yeah. 这个答案是否定的，就是说，当你就和第一个问题结合起来，就是当我们在生产氨基酸的时候，实际上你即使不去收集它，那么它也会存在于每一种干丝里面。OK?
Yeah, and the DNA structure in, you see, there is a misunderstanding between the amino acid and the DNA. It is not referred to. That's why I was talking about activated, the activation of amino acid. One could understand it as neutral, because it's going to wait until it finds connection to the amino acid in the tissues in different organs. You see?
OK, 他是说 Sorry, just wait. 这个氨基酸呢，它是需要有一个激活的，就是你需要跟你这个器官里面的某一种氨基酸相联系起来，所以这个东西它是不一样。
I can give a very good example, Ruthie.
Yeah.
We have one of our students at Keshe Foundation who gargled CO2 gas. Have it your way, Flint. And when he did, he was telling his story that he was poor, so he couldn't afford a dentist, but he was gargling this gas water in his mouth, and he got the third tooth growing. That's from the amino acid in the liquid plasma.
What?
So,
you mean he had the plasma, liquid plasma inside his mouth, and he grew the tooth?
No, it grew a third tooth, because otherwise you need to make a
meaning we have a set of teeth that fall out when we're 6 or 7 years old, and then we get a second set coming in. That's our permanent set. And so if you lose one of our teeth that we have now, we can grow it back.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, you mean he grew the tooth and he didn't need to replace it with
No, it grew back because it had fallen out, or it had rotten out, or is gone. So he had a tooth missing, and then because he gargled with the CO2 water, he was able to go back.
Oh, really? I hope I can help my mother for that, because she lost a lot of teeth. Yeah, so you mean just to have the gas water inside the mouth and keep it there, and
you wash the mouth, and then you realize how skillful the amino acid is,
And that's why I've always thought that another point to realize is that the amino acids on top of each of the different ganses are different amino acids, and each have a different meaning or different use. And those amino acids that grow on the ganses are what I refer to as base. They're very base or very common amino acids that can be applied to many different living tissues to be adapted. They're kind of like, you can refer to them like, the T cells.
Adapter, that's a perfect word for it.
They're like T cells, or they're like the base amino acids that can adapt to any other living tissue.
And that's what I mean about activating the amino acid.
That's why the amino acids in the GANs can be used for cleaning water, for helping fish, for helping plants. Adapts to the amino acids of the plants, adapts to the amino acids of the humans. So yeah.
So OK， 所以它这个不同的氨基酸的作用就是不一样。他刚才讲到，就是说是就是用这个干丝水加氨基酸，然后他的牙齿就重新长出来了。就是有一个人，那么他就是这个氨基酸也有用于就是给鱼用的，或者是给这些农作物用的。那么这个是不一样。So, do we have like a map or something that to summarize which amino acid can use for different application?
Yes, there is. We don't have a map for it yet, but in short, the copper and the zinc-based liquid plasma.
So CO2 and CuO.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys so make me crazy.
He's talking about CuO GANs in CO2 GANs water.
Yeah.
Yeah. these waters only are referred to on all the health sector, because you see that's what we have in common with the plants, the animals, and us. It's the RNA as much as the DNA. You see.
Those two are universal for carbon-based life forms.
OK， 因为我们是基于碳的这种基础的，所以这个二氧化碳干丝跟铜干丝这些是用于这个健康的这个作用的。
Another thing that is important, Ruthie, is that when you look at the hair and when you look at the tooth, then you have what they have in common is the pocket of birth. It's a pocket inside the pore, right?
Yeah.
The tooth and the hair. And we have reports where hair grows out from using CO2 gans. We have tooth growing out. And what they have in common is two ideas. One idea for the new birth. That has to do with the very amino acid from the natural tissue, and the intention. It's very important because you connect the intention with the amino acid from the gans.
OK， 所以就是说你同样的是用氨基酸来，就是长出新的牙齿跟长出新的头发，那这个你的意图是不一样的。So it is use the same amino acid to grow the tooth or grow the hair. It's the same, but the intention is different, right?
Yes, the intelligence of plasma energy is the frequency when it comes to intention. You see?
就是这个等离子技术的智能之处，就是在于它的这个频率是跟你的这个你的意图是有关系的。
So it's a communication field between the idea of a birth and when you look at how the tooth is made, it is of course perfectly. You're not going to have a tooth in front. The amino acid is not going to mistake what kind of tooth is going to grow or what kind of hair is going to grow. It is actually more hair from the potential on your skull, and at the same time, it is you have a younger, more stronger tissue to the tooth as much as to the hair structure.
就是说这个它这个不会氨基酸，它不会搞错，就是说你会长出不一样的牙齿，它还是会长出跟之前一样的牙齿和这个头发。
We're using Dr. Gotwa as an example here when it comes to the hair.
Yeah.
He used CO2 gans water, and he repeated to shower the top of his cranium quite often.
Spray
it, yeah. And then he found out that the hair grew out, and it is black, not gray, you know.
OK， 就是高塔医生博士，他就是他就经常往头上去喷那个就是干丝水，二氧化碳干丝水，然后他头发就是新长出来的就是黑色的，不是灰色的。
The GANS waters and the amino acids in them are a communication channel between our physical and emotions and soul. So by using them, it helps to manifest quicker our intentions from our soul.
Wow.
所以干丝水它是一个沟通我们的 这个情绪跟我们身体之间的这样一个，那使用它可以加速这之间的这个沟通。
Shall we go to the next question?
Yeah, I think so much information's there, and yeah.
Can we make sure that the questions that are in the chat and on the Q&A are answered also?
Yes.
Because I know we have a lot more typed out there to answer.
Yeah. How to make? And somebody asked how to make iodine guns, and another ask. It's later. It's because somebody shows that to make guns with carbon, and they are doubting if that zinc guns is the same with the guns made with copper.
Mr. Keshe did say that the carbon rod GaNs versus copper plate GaNs are completely different.
所以说就是他说凯斯先生说过，用这个碳做的这个干丝是不同的。So how is the difference? You mean completely difference? It's from the energy side or something?
Sorry, I was unmuted.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
But okay, so the question now is, what is the difference? I just know that it's a different crystalline structure.
Okay, 就是在结构上是。But if for the application, but you mean, I mean, if they drain the same GaNs water, can it be, I mean, to reach the same effect? I mean.
Absolutely. I remember when this was presented, and you do have a result that looks very much the same, but it depends on what the usage of it, what you want to, as much as the strength of your intention. You see.
Okay, so let me translate. 他是说，用起来你可能会觉得也会有产生同样的作用，而且它也，可是它会取决于你的意图是什么，你怎么样，就是去使用它。但是从结构上来说，它们所产生的这个干丝，是不一样的，就是用碳棒产生跟这种用铜或者是其他方式产生的都不一样。
You know, Mr. Keshe is actually saying that it is the same product, you know, but it's a hard question to be. We need to speak to Mr. Keshe about this.
Yeah, I don't have all the answers myself, because all of the health tests, all of the teachings that he has taught us that are resulting health-wise from health benefits from the CO2 GaNs is always been made from the copper plates.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the effects are when they're made from carbon rods and not copper.
Okay.
I personally think it would be a different, but I don't know.
他们是认为这是不同的，但是具体的不同的话，也可能是还需要跟凯什先生去谈，而且就是这些实验都还没有做，所以就没有这样子一个比较。And okay.
And also the process of making CO2.
Another question is again.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I was going to finish up there saying the process of making CO2 GaNs with the carbon rods is more of an electrolysis process because they're using electricity to force the process. And the other process with the nano copper plates is natural process, using the energy from the nano coating to do it, not from electricity.
因为它有通电，所以说实际上它可能是更倾向于电解的这样的一个产物。Yeah.
Also that when you do use electricity, even if it's just 1.5 volt, it's very important to always keep an eye on the GANs, because during that procedure, the GANs can get negative magnetic, and that means that the particles in the GANs are they look like boiled rice, and that's GANs you can throw away. It's useless.
所以用电解的话要特别小心去看那个干丝，它就会产生这种负的这种就是磁场。那么这种干丝就有点像那个米饭煮开花的那个感觉，所以那个干丝是不能用的，要扔掉。它即使你电压只有1.5伏，所以看起来制作干丝还是不要加电会安全一些。Okay, thank you.
It's the same thing when Mr. Keshe now is talking about mad nano, or not mad, but what is his word, Flint? Schizophrenic nano, and in this procedure you might end up with schizophrenic GANs, you know.
Yeah, using the carbon GANs, using carbon rod. Yeah, that's why I prefer to use the plates over carbon rod.
You get schizophrenic GANs.
OK， 所以他还是会更倾向于用这个铜板或这些来做。OK， so I think we can go on to next. So is there any difference between the gas water which and the water which is not directly contact with gas, just get interfere with the field of the gas? I just put a bottle of gas inside a big container, and then I drink that water. Is that how much difference between that?
That's a beautiful question. No, the answer is no. There is no difference. You see, once you get the charge in the water molecules, then you can take it away, and it will always use its memory through the water RNA, as much as the total usage from the amino acid.
OK， 所以他是说没有区别，就是你只要它就是这个场的记忆，它会记住这个水的这个水的什么水的氨基酸。Sorry， 就是基本上这是没有。But I mean the time, is there a time difference? Such as I use gas water, I just can wait for 8 hours. It's okay. But if it's untouched, it will need more time. Is that different?
No, when the water clears up, then it's actually finished and charged with all the skills from the GANs. So when you take when we look at, for example, star formations using GANs water, yeah, then you realize that there is no difference, because you see the water molecules doesn't have time space. This is very important. It's going to be even more important in the close future.
他是说水分子它都没有时间差别。But I think I remember it said that it should put there to have 24 hours wait or something like. Is that true? No.
Say again, Ruthie.
Yeah. I remember somebody told me that to make the gas water we should wait for 24 hours. Is that true? No?
That is the general instructions that the foundation puts out on their new GANS packets that they're selling. And that's a good safe time. Because when you have a jar of CO2 GANS and you just shake it up, it takes, a good 8 or 10 hours, sometimes longer, for it to all settle and become totally clear. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can use your eyes, when the water is clear.
So 24 hours is a safe period, and if you're taking pure GANS water and putting some of that into a new jar, making more GANS water, would you still wait the 24 hours or what?
No. You can trust your eyes. When the water is pure.
I know, but if you're making more GANS water from already GANS water, then what? A couple hours, an hour? How long?
I've never measured time. What I've seen is that the different GANSes, they have triple or 4 times a tendency of keeping the GANS in the water. Like, for example, iron GANS. It takes, in the beginning, it takes very, very long time before it becomes clear, compared to copper GANS, for example.
他是说基本上就是只要用目测说这个水很清了就可以了。那通常大家讲说，把这个干湿然后做成干湿水要静置24小时，这是他们的标准程序就说这是一个比较安全的时间。那么这个时间之内肯定这个干湿呢它就已经沉淀了。就像比如说 CH3 干湿的话，它其实是需要花更长一点的这个时间的。Okay, so is there, for the lifetime of the gas water, is there any limited? And when I made it, and it can work all the time?
Well,
forever?
Mr. Keshe is saying at least 2,000 years.
就是有关我们的干湿上清液或干湿水的这个使用时效，凯史先生说是2000年。Okay, thank you.
Another answer to the last words in the question about the interference of the fields. That's makes this question beautiful. When you have a new measurement when it comes to GANS and liquid plasma, the new measurement or the more understanding of the technology is the fact that the GANS doesn't get stronger than the GANS water. You see, it's not so.
他的意思说，干湿其实并不比干湿水更强。So you mean the power of GANS and energy is not stronger than the plasma liquid?
Exactly. This is very important to understand, because many people are swallowing 2 to 3 liters of GANS water a day, which doesn't make any sense. It's not understood. It's the repetition that is important. You see? So when you have the GANS in its more gas physical state, then it always depends on how you want to use it. That's the measurement of the strength, how you want to use it. It's directly connected to your intention. That is the correct measurement to strength. It's not stronger and weaker, you see?
他说并不是说这个干湿水强度的本身，实际上更强调的是你的意图，所以他就是说干湿并不比这种干湿水好像说要强多少这样子，就是所以实际上so I think if maybe it's better to not directly direct contact with the gas, just use a bottle of gas put into a container, and maybe people will feel it's more safer.
Yes, and one good example is that if you want to make an asthma pipe like Mr. Keshe was drawing, then he said that you're going to fill up with packed gas into the tubes around the breathing area in the pipe, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's to be sure of the field. It's not stronger than liquid plasma. It's just to make sure that the field is there.
OK， 所以就是它就是用这个干丝，然后来就是通过这个管子，然后放干丝进去吸气。他说其实它只是来确保这个地方有场，它并不比这个用干丝水就更强。OK， and OK，
it's referred to, you know, a new way of thinking altogether. It's not stronger and weaker as we used to use the words, you know, or the polarity.
它不是说更强或者更弱，它是一种新的思维方式。And so people asked, how many times can be repeated to use the gas to make gas water? It's unlimited?
Oh, sorry, I was unmuted again.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, how many times we can use the gas to make the gas water? I think it is unlimited, right?
Yes, but for example, when you drink liquid plasma or gas water, then the body is going to differ the charge and the water molecules, as an example. So of course the sweat or the urine is not going to be useful again, you know.
No, but she's talking about how many, if you take 5 milliliters of gas water and make 50 or 500 milliliters with that, and then keep repeating that process, how long can you repeat that?
Oh, that's not good. That's not good. There is a
because
there's no understanding, you know.
Sorry, let me make my question clear. I mean, if I use such as 5 millil gas, CO2 gas, and I put some water into it, and later I take the top level of the water out, and I put some water in. I mean, this can be repeated for many times. I mean, is it unlimited? Is there a limited that okay
the word from Renan and Verney is that they've tried multiple times and they've not noticed any difference in multiple generations or times of doing that. They haven't noticed any difference.
Yeah, so I mean, if you said that it can be continue in 2,000 years, that means I can make it any times, right? Just I put some water in and out and put in and out.
Yeah, but it's important to understand that the field has a time frame, because when you heal the water, for example, you balance the water with liquid plasma or gas.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna create a field in the water that is totally natural. So the decay goes away. But what is actually happening is that we have a time frame for it, just because the field through the pollution, for example, takes some time before the field is growing. So that has to do with the strength of the field much more than. So there is a time frame. It's not easy to explain.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's not unlimited, just because the field maybe became weak and weak after repetition. Is that true?
Well, I wouldn't say. Well, maybe that's true, but my understanding is that it's like once you change the water, it is plasma water, but there's always going to be external influences from the environment that the water's in, the type of bottle it's in, where the bottle is assisting, other electromagnetic fields that are around the water, because water picks up energy from its environment. And so once you have plasma water, it can, I don't know, lose its effect based on where that water is being stored or being sit. Does that make sense? And so that's why you always want to use, in my mind, I always want to get my water directly from the top of the Gans after it's settled, because that's always going to be the most purest, because the Gans never goes away.
Exactly.
The Gans is the source of the energy.
Yeah, so I mean, if okay, so the Gans water can oh my God, I think I think I make things complicated for my poor English. Yes, I understand. So if I always keep the Gans there, and I took the Gans water out and put, and that's it. I can do it unlimited. But what you mean is I use the Gans water to repeat it to and that will have the limitation. Is that true?
Yes. You see the new way of.
So what's your understanding on making? What's your understanding of using Gans water to make more Gans water? How many times can you do that?
No, exactly is how many times I can use Gans to make Gans water. That's unlimited. I think
unlimited,
that's
yes.
Unlimited,
Gans itself, that's what lasts for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
Yes, okay. Now we have a conclusion. 当我们用这个干丝来制作干丝水的时候，实际上它是可以无限次的被使用的，因为这个干丝它不会变化。那么，但是当我们制作出干丝水，又试图用这个干丝水再去复制制作新的干丝水的时候，那这个的话，因为它的厂它是有限制的，而且每一次因为可能有一些水或者有些污染，或者有一些任何因为水本身带有一些信息，所以它的信息可能会逐步变弱，所以它可能会变弱。Okay, so that's good. We make it clear. Okay, and I think it's almost 3 hours today, and we have answered a lot of questions. But
technically we got about 20 minutes left.
20 minutes left?
Yep.
Okay. But the problem is it's time for dinner.
There's some questions that came up about CUO there.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Another question is that if we just put a small spoon of gas into a big container, and we get the top layer water from that, it's the same with the half bottom of the gas, and it will be more stronger or less.
Well, to my experience, really, I cleaned 8 liters or 9 liters of salt water that was completely out of balance. I couldn't see the bottom of the tank. And I actually, it's very interesting because I I put sinking copper GaNs straight into the water, mixed with the distillated water, and the whole tank cleaned itself. There was no decay, no nothing.
How many milliliters of GaNs did you put in?
Well, I didn't do this on purpose. So the only thing I can say is that it was a normal glass of water size, 2 of each, some GaNs and some water molecules to it from copper and zinc. And then I repeated the pattern. I repeated the procedure on another tank with other waters. And I realized that water molecules don't like iron because the iron went to the bottom of the water, and so clearly the water showed me that it needed the copper and the zinc GaNs, but not the iron.
Oh, interesting. 他是说他放了一些锌干丝跟那个铜干丝去到这水里面，这一大箱的水都被净化了，只是数量他没有说，就是他是可能没有特别去在意，只是放了一些可能几个毫升这样，但是他是说好像这个他这个水分子不太喜欢这个铁干丝，就是好像效果不是很好。So is that possible that to just put a sponsor of CO2 gas and can deal a huge sea?
Well, you know, this experience is extremely important because Mr. Keshe are spending many hours of knowledge seeker teaching about this. And one of the examples is that when you put GaNs in a plastic ball and you put it in the water, then you have the same understanding for the last question about the time frame. It's going to take much more time for the eye to see and measure, you see, much more time, because I used 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes, and all the decay was gone. But I guess that's the reason that explains the time frame.
就是说，他把这个干丝放到这个一个塑料的球里面去。他是说，就是处理的话，你处理，重要的是要理解它是要花时间的，就是可能你这个数量少，那么可能花的时间就会多一些。他是指的是这个意思，就是说用一勺水来处理整个海洋。
But Ruthie, you have to tell the Chinese that the water I got were absolutely pure and perfect pH value.
就是它处理之后，这水的话是非常纯净的，而且这个 pH 值是非常好的。
This is important because I couldn't believe my eyes, so I dipped the finger and tasted it, and it tasted like, of course, salt water, but to the extent that I have never seen salt water that clean before.
就是我还从来没有见到那个海水有这么的干净，所以说大家可以多做一些这个就是二氧化碳干丝倒在大海里，帮助来净化。就像那个 Caroline 她就提到的，她每见到水，她就会倒一些这个干丝水，或者是干丝，就干丝水到这个地方去。他说刚开始是1小瓶，然后后来1大瓶，然后他就要做更多。就是这个净化对我们整个世界环境的净化效果是很好的。Yes, I heard that Gail, he had drive a car from in Norway and for 2,000 miles, and he put the GaNs water in everywhere along the sea, the coast. Yeah.
Yes. And this is another important thing that you tell, Ruthie, is that when Keshe's technology, with its usage from the Fukushima, it was based on creating fields with the plastic balls. So he didn't need to put the GANs into it, you see? That's the difference. When you create a field using many balls.
OK， 所以他是说，当这个在福岛的这个核电站呢，就是净化的作用的时候，它是用这个球来转形成这个场，它并不是需要去直接去放干丝在里面。Yeah.
The reason why this is so important as well is because if people wanted to clean up water, then it's of course 10 times easier to create a field rather than spilling the GANs into the water straight ahead.
And it's more effective to use, liquid plasma or GANS water to clean water than it is straight GANs. That's what they found in Africa.
Exactly.
And also that using the copper GANs.
其实是更有。
Also using the copper GANs was toxic to carbon-based life forms.
Yep.
Because it killed everything in the water, even the fish and stuff. So if you're going to use water purification, it's always best to use the CO2.
所以就是用净化水的话，是用 CO2 来净化水，可以杀死所有的这些细菌之类的。But we kind of drink the GANS water of copper, right?
Yes, but
I wouldn't advise it. No, that's my opinion.
就是说不能喝这个铜的干湿水。
Did you mean the liquid plasma from copper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's very important. When you drink zinc-based GANS water, CO2,
yeah.
Then if you use 20 to maximum 30% after drinking, an hour after the first zip of zinc GANS water, then you're following this up. You can even a good mixture is actually if you drink CO2 GANS for let's say 14 days, 2 weeks, and then you drink. You zip to a mixture of GANS water, copper and iron GANS water. Then it's a very, very good result to the as much for the atomic structure of the body and inside the different organs that needs balance.
But in relation to CO2, you're always going to have much less CH3 and CuO.
I think I just dropped a little bit. So you mean we can drink CO2 GANS for 1 or 2 weeks, and later we add a little bit copper GANS or CH3 GANS
and iron
into it, right?
And iron, but copper is good enough, for the body.
Yeah, but it's always going to be much less in relation to the CO2.
Yeah, much less. Maximum 30%.
30, OK， 就是说最多可以加30%的氧化铜的这个干丝水，跟这个二氧化碳干丝水混合起来喝，就是非常非常少的量，然后但是它的能量很强。So we don't need to drink CH3 GANS water, right?
No.
Yes, but much less than CO2. CH3 is more for energy.
Yeah, you don't need it because
3的这个能量更强，所以说我们要只是喝一点点，就是 OK。
again, what's important here is to understand that the zinc and the copper are referred to as emotional and genetic balance. So that's why it's important to follow up with the copper. It depends on from one human being to another, their shape, on physical structure and mental structure.
And whether if they have any illnesses or not, because if someone that has cancer, you generally don't want to give them CH3 because it'll make it grow faster.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of the cancer first with the emotional balance and genetic balance with the CO2 and the CuO.
Exactly.
OK，所以因为癌症的话，首先要获得这个就是情感上的平衡，所以喝这个二氧化碳跟这个氧化铜的话，它是在调节情感平衡。Okay, so let's see. Can we go more?
What was that?
Okay. Ouyang. It's no next page.
Ruthie,
Ouyang, 你呢
Ruthie, you can add to the last question that in my health batteries. In my health batteries, I'm always using 10% iron and copper. You see, so I mix them. So at the max, it's going to give 20%.
10% iron and copper, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that seems about right to the ratios that Mr. Keshe has told us. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have 90% CO2 and 10% copper. Or
now I'm talking about the GANs.
Oh, sounds so good.
If you're going to drink some plasma water though, or liquid plasma, you can
10% CH3, 30.
What was that, Ruthie?
I think I know. Can you repeat? Because I.
It's when you have 80 to 90% zinc-based GANS water or GANS, right?
Or CO2.
CO2, yes. How much CO2? 8%.
Yeah, 80 to 90%. Then you have
80 to 90. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you have 10 to 20% leftovers to fill it in, and the way you fill it in, either it's GANS or GANS water, is 10 to 20% of. You can, depending on the situation, you can use copper or copper and iron. It depends on the how you gain your new body structure.
Okay.
And also on your intentions.
Yeah. 就是80%到90%是二氧化碳干丝水，剩下的10%到20%就是根据不同的应用是加这个氧化铜干丝水，或者是这个就是铁干丝。Okay. And so if people drink too much GANS water, what will happen? And I tell you experience. That day when I just take flight, before I take flight, I have one bottle of water, but I think I put a little bit more GANS water into it and add some water. And that day I feel so hot, and even I feel like a fever. And I drank so much water. I feel so thirsty. And the same thing happened with my mother. So I want to know, what is that?
Yeah, that's a good question, Ruthie. There is no way that you can have an overdose of Gans water. It's just that the body needs to understand the charge. So when this is happening, many things can happen. You can throw up, or you can start to feel that the organs is changing a spot in the body. You have all kind of strange sensations. This is because the organs has to adjust the frequency of total balance, and this is due to unnatural state of the organs. So you can't have an overdose.
OK， 所以就是刚才在问说喝干湿水如果喝太多了会怎么样？就是因为这个身体它要去明白这样一个充电，因为这个能量我们以前并没有接触过，所以说它可能会出现各种各样的反应，来自于你呕吐或者怎么样。但总体来说是我们身体的器官，是乃至身体器官可能会跳动或者是怎么样，就是它会来试图重新达到一个新的平衡。它会适应来适应这个能量。
It's also it's very important that it doesn't make any sense to drink a half a liter. It's the repetition that's where the technology is. The repetition equals the strength.
The body will take what it needs of energy from the Gans water.
Exactly. So when you repeat it, you will have this help. You don't have any help if you drink 2 liters in a row. It doesn't make any sense.
就是说，所以喝这种500毫升或者是多少的这个干湿水，这个肯定是不合适的，这没有意义。然后，对 ，OK。
Also, the more you drink, the faster the balance, so that means the more reactions or the quicker reactions you could have if you take too much, because the body isn't used to it and it's making a balance really quick, so therefore you feel ill. And that's why it's been recommended to start out slow but be consistent.
所以建议就是刚开始慢慢来，就是少一点，然后再这样子增加，否则就是因为你身体它要调整，可能会让你觉得你好像有生病了的感觉。
And also, if you're following any of the Knowledge Seeker workshops with Paul from Togo, he's been helping some people over there get rid of AIDS and HIV positive conditions in people by having them replace all water intake in their body with CO2 Gans water at a ratio of, I think, 500 milliliters to 10 liters of water or something like that. Or it could have been 1 liter to 10 liters, and basically replacing all water in their lifestyle with plasma water, whether it's brushing teeth or washing, bathing, washing your clothes, cooking, cleaning, any type of thing like that, replacing all forms of that with plasma water transforms everything and can completely eradicate very hard to get rid of diseases like AIDS.
Yeah, it increases the immune system and everything.
Yeah. And that was, I think, took 2 weeks. And then after the first 2 weeks, he added the other ganses in the water of, instead of just CO2, he added a little more zinc, actually, from the zinc oxide, and also CH3 and CuO.
Ruthie, there is a natural way to understand this, really. When
hold on, I need to translate because I will forget everything.
Of course.
然后他就说，就举了这个之前在教学里面讲过那个患艾滋病然后喝这个干湿水的例子，他就是说他会 增强整个的免疫力。那么先喝了2个礼拜的这个二氧化碳干丝水，然后后面它慢慢加入 CH3，然后铜的这个干丝水等等。OK。
Yeah, you can translate for my pauses, okay? The universe in the body and the universe outside the body needs precision.
Precision?
Precision. Precise.
Precise. Precise. 就是我们身体之内的宇宙和身体之外的宇宙都需要一个精确的。
This precision is directly connected to your intention.
这样的一个这种处理或者就是这样，都是跟我们的这个意图，就是意愿相联系的。
When you are precise from your intention, precise intention.
当你有一个很精确的这个意图的时候
then you have a response from the zinc and the copper.
然后你就会从这个锌或者铜干丝获得反应。
This is extremely important.
极为重要的。
If you let's say that your intelligence increases.
当我们的这种智能提高
then it's progressively.
它是一种逐步进展的，逐步的。
And this progressive increase in all better ways that we call balance is the repetition when you drink the liquid, the gas water.
就是这些就是你要复制这个干丝水的这个信息啊，就是你要对。
So when you swallow half a liter once, then it's.
当你喝500毫升这些干丝水
then you don't give yourself time for the precision. You're not precise. You're in a hurry.
你就是没有很精确的去调整自己，你就是一股脑的就倒进去了。Okay, understand. Okay, thank you so much. I think it's time to finish because my family is waiting for me for the dinner.
Okay.
Okay, so.
We'll have to continue the questions next time.
Yeah. 所以剩下的有很多的问题的话，我们下一次再来解答。今天非常的感谢 Flink， 还有感谢头 My God.
Torbjörn.
Could you please Torbjörn? Torbjörn. My God, I should practice 100 times today. Topping. Okay.
Ruthie, you have to tell the Chinese people a congratulations with all the beautiful questions.
Yeah. 谢谢thank you for Flynn, thank you for Topping, and thank you for everybody to attend and ask all the beautiful questions and thank you for Flynn and Toast for today's teaching. 非常的感谢大家，非常感谢大家。Topping 说你们提的这些非常非常美丽的问题，非常美好的问题，也非常感谢2位老师的耐心解答。我们结束今天的课程，感谢大家。希望下一周的同一时间，大家一起共同参与在积极的讨论。感谢。OK。Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yep. This is the end of the 3rd public teaching in Chinese. Thank you.
I must go.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you much, Flint. Very much.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.